Gold Squad TV. Good, happy Father's Day for all you guys that are fathers out there. I'm not. I was smart, 36 years old with no kids. So enjoy your Father's Day enjoyment, knowing that. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. So this is a continuation of a video I did a couple days ago about fans and fans. These new age fans not really being fans of teams, but being fans of players and being fans of this pro, quote unquote, pro player movement thing. So I want to clear some things up first because some of you guys, although I disabled the comments because I ain't really trying to hear all that shit today or any day. You know, cause as far as I'm concerned, I'm just dropping a video based on my opinion. My opinion's my opinion. And I don't think I should have to be challenged on my opinion every time. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. In this situation right here, I'm repping for the OGs. I'm not just repping for me, but I'm repping for the OGs that have been watching basketball for 20, 30 years that they want to get rid of. So, I don't need my opinion being challenged by some youngin' that was just born 10 years ago. All right, so this is really an adult conversation, and we need to have an adult conversation about this. All right, so before I say anything, I did have one of my friends hit me up, like off channel, of course, and accused me of being a Republican. I had to be quick to let him know I don't give a shit about politics. Love me or hate me. I don't care about politics. You can say what the hell you want to say. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm me. I don't align myself with political parties. I do think politics are important depending on what your cause and what you're fighting for. And yes, I have voted at times depending on what I agree and disagree on. However, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that these people aren't crooks and don't have our best interests involved. They never have, regardless of what end you're on. So sometimes there might be some things that they pass, but it's always when they pass certain things, they always pass it with a grain of salt. You know, there's always going to be some kicker, kind of like if you read a contract, there's always some fine line. So no, before I just want to clear this up. I am not repping any side of the political spectrum. So if you think that I'm some type of anti-woke or woke person, I'm neither. I come from an era of time where we didn't talk about none of that shit, especially in our platforms, and I would like and prefer to keep it that way. That said, just because I'm not down with this player movement and player empowerment doesn't make me, quote unquote, since you want to go there, Republican. Because look at the argument you're making. You're making an argument versus millionaires versus billionaires. If you're lucky enough to make it in the NBA, you're a millionaire. Even the wackest player who sits on the bench, who looks like Danny Kite, for God's sakes, is a millionaire. If he plays 1 or 2 seasons and saves his money, or 1 or 2 seasons, he could buy land. Buy his mama house, buy land. And if you're lucky enough to play 5 seasons, you're straight for the rest of your... Off of 2 seasons, really, you're kind of straight the rest of your life unless you gamble all your money up trying to get materialistic shit. But if you're smart and you go and just buy land, make your own little spot, take care of all the regular taxes and shit like that on that, you got money coming in. Sometimes you'll be having money coming in pretty much for the rest of your career, even if you're not playing anymore. You go play overseas, make a little bit of money there just to keep the bills paid. Cool. But we're essentially arguing it's millionaires versus billionaires. So the owners are the billionaires. People are making the argument that the owners treat players like cattle. Here's my retort to that. The players make millions and millions and millions of dollars they're making seven figures. I don't know a cow that before it got executed ever made millions and millions of dollars. All right. These players are complaining about motels and lavishness. They're in the bubble. We're complaining about the motels, saying that they were Motel 6s and felt like they needed to be treated better. And you're going to tell me they're being treated like cattle. My retort to you is you need to check your priorities. Because as far as I'm concerned, I make 2 or 3 figures. I make only anywhere from $100 to $400 or $500 a week, depending on how hard I work and how many hours I get at my job. Plus, for a lot of us, we might have 2 or 3 jobs. We still don't even come close to making $1,000. Sometimes $2,000, $3,000 in a week. You know what I mean? Some of us are really struggling. Some of us are struggling with McDonald's jobs, grocery store jobs, just getting by, regardless of what side of the spectrum you're on. So when you insult my intelligence by saying players are cattle and being traded like cattle, let me make this clear. They got to move their families. They have millions of dollars. Moving your family, as difficult as it may be, is so much easier for them than it would be if Stop and Shop told me, "Hey Louis, we're transferring you to Georgia to the grocery store down there, and if you need to pack up now, or you're unemployed." It's really be honest. Like, I'm not gonna have money to go and just bounce to Georgia, and the only way, even at that, you're giving me a little bit of a raise. You're not really giving me the raise that I kind of need to survive. Let's really be real. That's not gonna work. So, all I gotta say to people who say that the players get treated like cattle, I think some of y'all are making this a little bit deeper than what it really is. What are you looking at some of the owners like? If you're looking at these, if it's starting to become like a race issue, I'm stepping out of that. For one, I'm a minority. I'm of color. I'm stepping out of that. Because now I'm starting to kind of feel like this is getting uncomfortable. We're supposed to be talking about sports. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm not talking about economics. We're talking about sports. All right? Every player in the league makes anywhere from 5 to 7 figures in the league. You're not going to tell me that the owners treat them like they're cattle, so they just trade them and they don't. So once the player decides to move on, the player's all wrong. Your beef needs to be with the media, not with the fan. And on top of that, the fan has every right to cheer and boo whoever the hell they want to boo. So, for instance, when Kyrie left Boston, he left, right? We booed him to death. He steps on our logo, whatever, right? We had every right to boo him every time he came back to Boston. Cool. Bet. Beat us, but we got every boo him. You can't tell fans. Now, the bottle shit, I'm against. I don't think anybody should have a bottle thrown at them. They're human beings, all right? That said, though, Kyrie Irving has to know what he's expecting when he goes to an arena, any arena he used to play in, especially considering how much of a toxic mentality he has. As smart as he is, he's very toxic as a human. You can just tell some of his God complex mentality that he has is just crazy. So, I don't agree with Danny Ainge's moves. Like, for instance, when he lied to IT, or when Jay Crowder got the call when his mom's passed and he traded him in that deal. No, I did not think it was business there. That's personal. I did not like that. If I'm Danny Ainge, now Danny Ainge is not there no more, but the tool himself should have called them and he should have told them, "Hey, listen, I'm about to trade you guys. I don't want to trade you guys, but I have, it's his business. Please don't take it personal. If you guys need anything from me, you guys need me to help you with anything. You guys need any type of sense of help from here on. We have your back. If your family need help, anything, we got you. But we have to trade you. This is part of business." And also should have said, "I'm sorry about your moms and sorry about And he also should have been honest with Isaiah Thomas. So that's where I draw the line. So I think the ownership needs to be a little bit better with treating its players if they're going to deal them. GMs more specifically, owners more specifically. That said, that aside, it's a business. If you take the personal part out, like in that realm, it's business. Players have been moved forever. Just because LeBron decides to go move to a team on his own, not all the players want to do. That's riding a trend. And we're really trying to justify team and player loyalty. You know, I'm all for the team, I'm all for the player and the team being mutually loyal. I'm not for the player being disloyal. Because I think they should get criticized in the media for that. Fans look up to you, man. Kids watch your games. They see you. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to tell me that I'm wrong as a fan for not liking a certain player where they no longer play for my team when they just bolted and left and didn't even give a nation. You'll sit there and say, well, how come organizations could do it? No, because organizations have power. And it's the way every sport should be. The organization should. Oh, now it's all about how you do business and how you do make power moves and how respectful you are to the player. That's why I draw the line. But other than that, it's business. It's always been like that in every sport. The player only has so much leverage. Why you hold out. In other sports, you tend to hold out. You either get your contract or you don't. And if you don't, you demand a trade or just don't show up. But you signed a contract. You have to honor the contract. I don't understand how guys can just sit there and like these guys just going to play with each other. Like, to me, like, Michael would have never played with Larry Bird or Magic Johnson. I know I sound like an old head. Like, I hate using that term. That's such a disrespectful term. I sound like an OG. But the reality is the reality. That's when the NBA was at its best. I couldn't imagine Patrick Ewing going to play with Shaquille O'Neal at the end of his career. I couldn't imagine Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning recruiting Reggie Lewis in his prime before he passed away, and him leaving Boston to go play in Charlotte. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine Scottie Pippen going and leaving Chicago and going to play for the Los Angeles Clippers and recruiting Penny Hardaway and Eddie Jones or something. I couldn't even imagine some shit like that happening back then. And contracts were much different back then. But as far as I'm concerned, to see players stay on the same teams for years, it's much more fun. You see Giannis beat the Brooklyn Nets, it's a beautiful thing. He decided to stay, work, put the work in, and win. He didn't sit there and throw his teammates under the bus. He sat down, put the work, went gun for gun with Kevin Durant, who decided to go and leave Golden State to go play for Brooklyn. And he won. I wish and I hope some of the younger players understand this ain't AAU, man. And this ain't about what market you can go to that's comfortable for you. It's about winning championships. If you have any type of competitiveness, you don't care what market you're at. You can make that market better. Michael Jordan made that Chicago market better. The Bulls weren't shit without Michael. When Michael gets there, he made everyone better. Jason Tatum, I hope you're listening. You should make that Boston Celtics market better than it was when you came. You should stay there. Same thing with Jaylen Brown. You should stay there. You fight. You're a competitor. Fight until you win. Put competitiveness over all that fucking comfort shit. Because to me, if you're going to just put comfort and, well, I like to go play in some different market, shit, then you're not really a true competitor, in my opinion. A true competitor wants to win and wants to beat their opponent. They don't go and join other guys to go play for them. And that's why I have such a problem with LeBron. He's such a joiner. He's always a person that likes to join. He made this league into a circus, man. I don't give a fuck what side of the spectrum you're on. It's a circus. When things don't go LeBron way, he gets all these fans to sit there and say, well, LeBron got this team to do it by himself, and then they don't win shit, Gives a fuck if he went to the finals in '07 with Cleveland. He didn't win. It's not like we need to stop celebrating getting there. It's about winning a title. That's one other thing I get tired of. Before I end this rant, some of you fans have very low standards as fans. Very, very, very low standards. Let me tell you something. The bar don't fall for nobody. It's championship or bust. You don't go to the finals and just get props for just getting to the finals. As hard as it is. LeBron been to the finals 10 times. Only won 4. You don't get props for getting to the finals. You got to win it. Paul George gets the Clippers to the finals this year. He gonna get props for getting there. You got to win it. Michael Jordan went to the finals 6 times. If Michael would have never won any of those finals, or would have won 2 or 3 of them, it would have been cool, but it still wouldn't have been greatest of all time standard. Got to win it. Kareem went to the finals a whole bunch of times and won. Bill Russell went to the finals 11. He won 11 titles in 13 years. It's about winning. You don't lower the bar for a star because he's someone you like. I love Damian Lillard, but if he don't win a title, I'm not going to look at Damian Lillard any other way except just being a great player. Nothing against Damian, but you didn't win it. I don't think he should be any less or more popular. I just think winning should mean something. You don't just get there. We need to cut this shit out with the low expectations. We don't lower bars here. We keep the bar where they at. Getting there ain't enough. It's cute. Like Eastern Conference or Western Conference, fine. That's cute. Can you get to the finals? Can you win it? You know what I mean? And can you win it? We don't applaud losing records here, man. LeBron James got a 4-6 record in the finals. Even if he wins 2 more titles and ties that up, 6-6 is terrible. Even 7-6 or 8-6 is terrible in the finals. And that would be out of maybe 13 or 14 appearances. You don't get props for getting there. You get props for winning. You don't lower the bar. So let that be a lesson, man, since you guys always want to make things so much easier. Because generations always, even with the technology, we always like to make things easier. Easy ain't always good. Sometimes you need to go to the work. You got to put the work in. You got to put your feet in dirt, hands in that dirt, and be willing to fight. And if you lose, you go out guns blazing. I respect somebody like KD, even though he was on the super team. If KD was by himself and didn't have Harden and didn't have Kyrie Irving, he still would have fought the way he did. I respect that. You know what I mean? Anyway, these new fans need to learn. They need to learn a little more understanding and respect, and respect the guys that put the work in. Stop trying to play 2K as a GM and stop trying to put people that play good AAU ball together. Stop that. Gold Squad TV.